my all right, so we're recording this for future use. I've got my contact information in the chat, and for everybody who's here today, just feel free to use that chat feature to talk to one another, make comments, and if you do have questions, drop them in the Q&A. You should have a Q&A button on the bottom of your screen too, so let us know what you have. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Teresa. Teresa, welcome.
Thank you. And thanks, Julie, so much for inviting me to share this wonderful program. I'm going to tell you all a little bit about Adventure World. I'm going to switch over now to the slideshow and then from beginning. So let's see, can everybody see that big screen now? Should be able to, good. Okay, so we are going to go on a wonderful trip to Tuscany, Italy, and you are going to have some incredible memories. And Adventure World does a lot of different trips, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that also. But first, we're off to Tuscany on your very first day, and it's a overnight flight. So you'll be leaving from your area and fly most likely to JFK. That's where most of our flights go. And you will have an overnight flight with meals and movies and all those good things. And then hopefully you'll get some sleep as well. One thing we want to tell you right from the beginning, we do not at this time and will not have that information until about 45 days prior to your departure. The airline information and any upgrading. So if you are wanting to upgrade to business class, something like that, you can put it in your registration form that you'd like to do it. Our folks will get back to you and tell you what the costs are, and then you'll let us know what you want to do. So, but we don't have any flight information at all until about 45 days prior to the trip departure, and we will then be in touch with you all and do another presentation and go over all of it at that time. So this is a little bit about Adventure World. We're what they call a valued leader in the U.S. group travel marketplace. We've been in business since 1972. We actually celebrated our 50th anniversary last year around November. We're a member of the Sakara International Group, and that is a very large company. We have thousands of employees throughout the world, literally. And we have offices both in the East and the West Coast of the United States. And then we have offices in Paris and Rome and London and Delhi and Cairo. So we're a big company. We've been dedicated to traveling and telling people about the treasures of the world for so many years. And we cover from all the different areas in Europe to Australia's Great Barrier Reef and all points beyond even. We're the official travel partner of the Association of Chambers of Commerce Executives. And for chambers, that is a big thing. We are a partner with that, as are many chambers across both Canada and the United States. We're not a travel agency. We are a wholesale company. So we do things a little differently. It is not easy for us to change a ticket. We cannot do that. Because we buy group travel, everything is put together as a group. And so you will find that your trip and everything else is very, very safe. Group travel is extremely safe. And also it's priced in such a way that you can really afford these trips. And we have many folks that go on 2 trips a year with us. And it helps their chambers also grow, and it financially helps chambers as well. And of course, we change with the times. I think pretty much all companies have to nowadays if you're going to survive. And so we do that. And we are considered one of the top companies for travel, for group travel. And we hope after you see this presentation and then after you go on this trip that you will return and come with us on many more. So we're going to Tuscany, and here is your brochure that you have. Your base price is the $3,399. You're going to learn about organic farming in Italy. You're going to experience delicious dinners from those organic farms. You're going to meet chefs and local folks. You're going to see Neptune's fountain in Florence. It's one of the best preserved fountains in Europe. And this is where we're going. We're going to this area right here. This is the Tuscany area right here. of Italy. So welcome to Italy. What we're going to do, we will fly in on the second day you arrive, and you'll arrive either in Pisa or Florence Airport. And you'll be met there by your Aventura World representative. And that representative will stay with you the entire trip. They are there to help you if you need medical attention, if you have questions, concerns, want to know more about shopping, want to know more about the history, all of those things they will take care of for you. This is the motor coach type we travel on. They're Michelins, they're comfortable, they're air conditioned, they are tinted windows, but you can still take good photos out of them. You'll find they seat 54 folks, so 2 people will be the bus driver and your tour representative, and the rest of the bus will be yours. If you have 40 folks, you have empty seats, which means you can stretch out and you don't have to always share seats. If you have 52 folks, then you'll be a full bus. If you have 12 folks, you will still have the bus and you will still be able to stretch out. So we arrive on day 2 from the airport, and we drive about 2 hours, and we arrive in Montecatini. Just as I should go over one thing. When we get to the airport, you will pick up your luggage, and you'll go through customs and immigration, and then your tour director will be right outside the exit door. And so you'll be directed to go out the exit door, and they will be standing there with a sign that says Lima Allen Chamber of Commerce, Aventura World, something like that. They'll be watching for you, and they'll take good care of you and take you to the motor coach, load you up, and then of course we drive on to Montecatini. Now, Montecatini is known as a spa town. It has been known for its spas for thousands of years. And depending on who you talk to right now, there are between 9 and 11 spas that you can go into if you wish. So if you have a leisure day, and I believe you do, and you want to simply relax, then you can go in and have a spa day. So it's also considered, Montecatini is considered as one of the largest spa towns in Europe. So they have a lot of people that come there from all over Europe, German, Austrian, Hungarian, all sorts of folks come to Montecatini. And it is a super nice known town. It is clean. The architecture is absolutely beautiful, as you can see from this particular spa. It's an old town. It was actually documented in medieval times. And so we will go, and you will be staying at a hotel in Montecatini. This is, of course, looking across from another level of Montecatini. So it's not a huge town, but it's a good size. And this is some of the shopping area that you can go to. They have amazing restaurants. We had some really great gelato here. It was delicious, but the wine and the foods are absolutely delicious. And again, some different shopping areas and things like that. So you'll be staying in a couple of different hotels. They're usually a 4 or 5 star hotel, very comfortable, very clean. Every year our company checks to make sure that everything's working properly. There are hair dryers, so you don't have to worry about having hair dryers for the ladies. And you'll find that often there are restaurants or they're close right down the street from a variety of restaurants and different choices. So on day 3, we're actually going to go to Florence, and this is pretty much an all-day tour. And Florence is known for the arts and for the architecture. This is the cathedral in Florence. Again, it's built centuries ago, absolutely beautiful, still standing, still in use. And of course, this is Fountain of the David sculpture that's so very famous. This is a replica. It's a copy of it, but you'll be able to go and see that as well. There is time for free time here, so you will be able to wander around, and if you want tickets to go see this sculpture and things like that, your tour director will be able to help you with that type of thing. So this is looking across Florence. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And this is an old photo of Florence. It's a very, very old one. And so not much has changed, as you can tell. This bridge right here is on the Arno River, and this is the only bridge that survived World War II when the Germans were bombing Italy. All these other bridges are new, but this one survived, and so again, it's famous because of the fact that it survived. And the Arno River is a large river that flows through Florence and a lot of other cities as well. And here is this old bridge again. Now you're also going to go into the Piazza della Signora, and this is a beautiful plaza. There are a lot of really old buildings here, a lot of government buildings. Your tour guide will take you and explain, the statues and the buildings and what they're used for now and things like that. I also, if I remember correctly, believe there's a cuckoo clock that pops out, and I think it has a goat and it has a maiden, something like that, and it pops out to tell you the time and things like that in the square. It's really quite something to see. This is the Palazzo Vecchio, and this was and is still a palace. This old clock here is actually the second clock on this tower, and it is from 1667. So it has been running and was put there since 1667. This building overlooks the Plaza del Signora, and this is the most important historic government building right here. It's City Hall now. It's also a museum, that type of thing. And here's a picture back in the 1400s, so you can tell not much has changed. The buildings there probably was the newer clock, but other than that, everything's pretty much the same. This is always a great time for photos. This is when everybody gets a photo taken in this square. It's one of the best places to take a photo. And so if your group is all ready, then your tour guide will make sure that we have photos taken of you. You're then going to go on and you'll have some free time here in Florence, the Old Trano district. And this district is on the left bank of the Arno River. And it's a cultural center, historic cultural center of Florence. And you'll have time for shopping here. It's known for antique textiles, wine shops, leathers, paintings, things like that. It's a fabulous place to get lost in. It really is. I'm sure you'll spend some money here. You can't but help spend some money in this place. And so these are some of the things that you'll see. It's considered to be the coolest place in town, and that's according to the folks that live in Florence and also to the tourists that come here. It really is a genuinely fun place to go shopping and see different things, coffee shops, restaurants, all sorts of different things. And of course, they have lots of markets, and it's very safe to eat the vegetables and fruit here in Italy. So a lot of people will pick up some of the local fruits, depending on the season of the year, or the vegetables, things like that, and take them back to their hotel. And of course, most markets also sell wine. So you can find yourself some nice bread, some fruit, vegetables, and a bottle of wine, and some local cheeses, and you've set for an afternoon or for an evening, something like that. Then on day 4, and each day we go back to Montecatini and stay in the hotel, so you don't have to unpack and pack all the time. You're going to be able to just stay and enjoy almost the entire trip, other than the Rome extension, from your hotel. One hotel, you don't have to change or upload everything, and it's really nice to do it that way. So we're going to be in Pisa and then do a Lucca tour. So you've all heard about the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and there it is. It actually has, on one side of it, 196 steps. And on the other side, it has 194 steps. And you can climb those and go to the top, and you'll be able to see all across this area of Pisa and Lucca. You're also going to have a chance to go into the Duomo and the baptistry as well, and to learn about the history of this area. The ground here, the dirt was actually brought from the Holy Land and put here. So it has a lot of really incredible history, and very, very old city as well. Have a very old university here, that type of thing. Again, it's always great for photos, so you'll be able to take some good pictures. And here's the baptistry and the Duomo, which you'll be able to go in and check it out. And your tour guide, again, will give you a really good orientation about this building, why it was built, how long it's been here, all those different types of things. And as you can see, you can take some really crazy photos, make it like you really know what you're doing and holding everything up. They've actually got a spot right here. It says take photo. So you can do that. And again, if you climb to the top, and remember it's 196 steps, or you can do the short one, which is 194, you will be able to take some amazing photos as well. So then we're going to go on to Lucca. And Lucca is a beautiful little city, and it's a very, very old city, and it's famous for this tower that's right here. But on a lot of the trips, most people say this is one of their favorite towns that they visit. It's got lots of old churches. The city itself has a wall all the way around it, and you can walk on it. It's a promenade now for pedestrians. Cyclists. So you can walk around the city, the old city. It has grown as well outside. It's also known for its arts. It's considered the arts town. There are many, many famous, notable people that come from Lucca. One of those folks is Puccini, the musician, the opera singer. So then there are all sorts of artists and different things. I think I counted about 100 plus people that are notable and are known throughout the world come from this area. They have a festival, a Puccini Opera Festival every year in July and August. So if you like this city and you want to come back to it at some point, then that might be the time, especially if you enjoy opera. They have a lot of medieval churches, and it's just a really nice place to visit. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So you can see here again, this old tower is what it's famous for, although they have another tower as well. And this is in the square looking into the center part of this old town. And here you'll enjoy, we had a great lunch here. It was just very, very enjoyable. And again, here's a drone view of it all with the tower over here. Not much has changed in the centuries. Many of these buildings, when they were built, nothing's changed at all. And of course, there's lots of great shops in this little town, all sorts of things that you can explore. And you do get some good free time in this town to explore and buy souvenirs if you want, or some art or different things like that, or just take a look at everything. Get some good photos. And of course, it is the home of Puccini and many others. And again, we all had a great lunch there. So on day 5, you're going to go to Siena. And again, we leave from Montecatini and we take our motor coach. And none of these trips are extremely long. A lot of these villages and cities and small towns are very close. So it might be an hour, hour and a half, 2-hour drive, but that's usually all it is from Montecatini. And then you'll be in a totally different area. This Siena area, is mainly agricultural, as you can see in the back here. A lot of agriculture, a lot of wineries in the area. It's rolling hills, beautiful scenery, olive trees, that type of thing you're going to see. It's historically also linked to commercial and banking, and the oldest bank in the world is here, and it's still in operation, and that is the Monte dei Paschi Bank, and it was built in 1472, and it is still in operation. So again, old city, considered in its medieval days as one of the wealthier cities because of the banking and the olives and the vineyards, things like that. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and they have some amazing shops, all sorts of boutiques, really great leather shops. If you're looking for leather purses, I don't think I've ever seen so many leather purses in my whole life until I went to this area here. There's all kinds of backpacks, sandals, shoes, and beautiful boutiques with beautiful clothing. This is an old picture of it. So as you can tell, not much has changed. Got the olive trees here, And again, it's also famous for this tower, which is very different. Every city in Italy seems to have something special. It's usually a tower or something that a wall or something, an old wall or something that keeps it special. And again, we always take photos. There's also the Piazza del Campo in this village town, and this is where the famous horse races are. We came in here and we went to an area over here for the restaurant, and we had, as I said, an amazing meal. And it was pizza, but it was one of the best pizzas I've ever tasted. And you can see here's the tower that it's famous for. So the horse races are right here in the center here. And I'll show you, here's what it looks like when everybody attends for the horse races. They have them in July, and then they have a second one sometimes in August, and it's usually 10 horses are racing. The crowds come to watch, and I'm sure they bet, but these 10 horses represent 10 different districts in this area of Siena. And it's been going on for centuries, and everybody comes. It's a day of festival and everything else. The races only last about 3 or 4 minutes, but it's, again, very popular. Everybody comes. You'll also see the Siena Cathedral, which is beautiful, beautiful cathedral, very, very old, dates back to about the 8th century. And then we have either a free day in Montecatini. So if you wanted to go to a spa, just relax, want to go eat out, go shopping in Montecatini, or you can do an optional tour. And our optional tour is Cinque Terre. So Cinque Terre means 5 lands, and it actually includes 5 different villages on the Mediterranean, and every village is totally different. The colors are absolutely magnificent. It doesn't matter when you go. We had rain the day we were there, and it was absolutely beautiful. It's still, even with the rain, the water, the buildings, everything was just picture perfect. What will happen is you'll leave Montecatini with your tour director on the motor coach, and you will stop at the railway, and she will get your tickets, and you will all with her go on the railway to one of the towns. And it changes from town to town which one they do or whether there's more than one, but you won't be disappointed in any of them. So here are some of the different towns that you may see. You'll definitely see one, you may see more than one. And it's just magnificent. Doesn't matter whether it's a day of rain or a day of sunshine, it's absolutely beautiful. And this is the area we were in. And this is a monastery as well. We also were able to hike along here. They have pathways, so you can go for a hike if you want to. You have free time, and you can eat in the restaurants, take some fabulous pictures. And you can see, just, it doesn't matter when, whether it's a sunrise or a sunset, it's absolutely beautiful, and just an amazing little villages, all of them. Each one is known for something different. Some grow lemons, some grow olives, others have grapes. So just depends on what part of the mountainsides they're on and the different fruits and vegetables and things. Then we come back and we're going to be on day 7, I believe, and we're going to be in San Gimignano, and that took a lot of practicing to be able to say that, okay? It just doesn't make sense, but that's how it is. Now this area is famous, first of all, for the 14 towers it has. There were more, but this is what is left. It's a medieval city. It's also walled. It's up on a hill, high up on a hill. When you're driving towards it, you wonder how the buses are going to get up that hill, but they do. And of course, you can see the vineyards here. So there are 14 towers that remain. And this city is quite steep. You're going to be walking up and you're going to be walking down. That's really what happens here. So I always tell people, take good walking shoes and make sure you take 2 pairs of them. So if one gets tired from all the walking that you've been doing in one part, that you'll be able to use the other shoes. This is really a quaint quaint village. It is really something to see. And again, great shops, lots of leather works, lots of different things. But again, beautiful scenery in the whole area. It's also known for saffron. And also the Romanesque and Gothic buildings. And anybody that enjoys architecture, you're going to see so many different things with this part of Italy, with the Renaissance area. There's so many different things that you'll see. There's wine tasting at the local winery you're going to have, and you'll also have local foods, as I said, from the organic farms in the area. And you'll learn about Chianti as well, and how and why they label Chianti the way they do. So you can see some of these are quite steep, and you will get a chance to stretch your legs in these areas. Here's, again, part of the old town. And there, of course, you see towers everywhere. And mercantile, so the markets. And you should try the cheeses. You have an opportunity really to, a lot of your, all your breakfasts are included in your trip, and some of your dinners and lunches will be, but when you have a chance, buy some of the local cheeses. They are absolutely wonderful. If you like wine, buy a bottle of local wine. The wines are excellent also and not expensive. Buy some of the sausage that they have and take it back to your hotel or do a picnic somewhere on your free time and just enjoy what they have to offer here, because it's really special. And here's a picture again of San Gimignano as it is on the hilltop. And I'll tell you, the bus comes right from the bottom and goes all the way up. You wonder how they'll make it, but they do. Here are some of the things that you will find in this village, this town. It's really small village towns, as I said, and it's walled. But this is the view you'll see as well. When you are on the walls, you can walk around and you get time to do that. And then you'll see these amazing agricultural views of the vineyards, the olive trees, the fields, just beautiful. And of course, wine tasting is part of this. And we will go to a local winery and you will get to have a great tour. They will explain to you how and what they do with the Chianti wines here. And then you'll have a chance to sample usually about 4 of their wines, plus their local cheeses and meats and things like that. And it's a lot of fun. It's beautifully done. You will find that they spend a lot of time in preparing for us and making it a very special event. And of course, if you would like to purchase, you can purchase wines, and they package them in such a way that you'll have no problem taking them home in your luggage or carrying them. You can also ship them home. They have DHL and UPS and all those folks as well. The same with the cheeses and things like that. They'll make sure that everything is packed in such a way that it will get home safely for you. And again, this is some of the scenery that you're going to see in this area. And you're going in October, so you should be very, very fortunate in seeing some of these different colors. Then you'll have some free time. And you're back in Montecatini. And so again, here's the square that's close to the hotel, very close, within 2-minute walking. This is a really nice square. They have restaurants over on this side, and they have some other restaurants back here. And then this is actually from a restaurant area that people are taking this photo. A lot of local people just come and sit. And then there's lots of shops as well if you want to shop as well. And of course, lots of hotels as well. Here are some of the products that they offer, and obviously you can go in there and just look if you want to, see what there is, the different meats, the different cheeses. And again, the markets are really great, and they have great markets, open markets also. You can purchase clothing, you can purchase food, wine, all sorts of different things. And here's one of the markets. As I said, there's lots of purses, all kinds of leather, all kinds of leather jackets, different things like that. and of course, lunch. And, you know, Tuscany is known for its cuisine. It's really famous. The Tuscany cuisine is very famous. It's all over the world. So you won't find a meal that isn't good. These are the little cars. You'll see a lot of them. When we were on our way to Rome, there was a little car like this stopped, parked in the middle of the street. So they park almost on top of each other. There's no such thing as empty spaces like it shows here. And our bus couldn't get through. And we waited and waited, and the bus driver honked the horn, and a lot of other people were honking the horn, and the driver never came out. So eventually the police came, and so the policeman directed a whole bunch of gentlemen to pick up this little car, and they picked it up and they moved it onto the sidewalk, and the bus got through, because in fact we had two buses and there was no way we could have gotten through. So then they brought the little car back and put it down, and then the policeman waited there for the gentleman who we saw owned the car, came back by then, and gave him a ticket. So that's Italy, okay? Nothing phases them. They take care of the problem one way or the other. And it was actually quite interesting. It was a good 25-minute movie watching this all. It was really fun to see it. So for those of you that are not going to go on to Rome, the 2-day Rome extension, then you will depart on day 9. And so you'll have breakfast at the hotel, and your tour director and the motor coach will take you to the airport, either in Florence or Pisa, whichever way it is. And they will make sure that you get there properly and that your luggage is with you. And they will make sure that you get on, you check in at the right airline, and with your tickets, everything's okay. The tour director stays until every person that's on the trip has been checked through and has gotten through security, and then they leave. So you don't have to worry about somebody just dropping you off and leaving you there to fend for yourself. So not to worry, that it's all taken care of, and it's done very, very well. And so these are some of the things you're going to remember about this country: the beautiful farmland and the hills. It's very mountainous and hilly in this area. This was, I'm sure, a soccer tournament, but you know, it's goodbye. And Italia, you will remember, the Italians are wonderful people. They're very outgoing. They seem very happy. It doesn't seem to make any difference where or how much money they have. They all seem very happy. You'll remember the Arno River and this bridge that was not bombed by the Germans and is the oldest bridge on the Arno River in Florence. You'll remember the markets. And we want you to join us for a terrific year this year in travel. So we hope you will come with us. And here is information about the trip itself. You'll actually be leaving from Dayton, Ohio, and you will then fly overnight to Italy, to Florence or to Pisa, which is in this area here. There you'll have first-class hotel accommodations. You have superb meals, 10 meals, which are 7 buffets, and then 3 dinners. And the first night you arrive in Montecatini, you will have dinner that evening, and they will take good care of you. And then there are 2 other dinners, usually a farewell dinner at the end on your last day, and another dinner at some point in the middle as well is included. Your sightseeing program includes all the entrance fees that are for this part of this trip. So the guided tour of Florence, the day excursion to Pisa and Lucca, the Leaning Tower, the baptistry, the full day tour of Siena, full day excursion of Gimangino and the Chianti region, and wine tasting. And then there are the optional tours, which would be your Cinque Terre, would be your optional tour there. This also includes the Cultural Discovery Series. So the workshops that you're going to visit in Oltrano, the district in Florence there, the wine tasting, and then you do have a local dinner at a countryside estate, and that is an absolutely amazing dinner. And the countryside estate is amazing also. You'll be high up in the mountain area, and you'll be able to look across the whole valleys and mountains, and the food is delicious. It also includes your tour director, the deluxe motor coaches, As I said, they're air conditioned, and it includes baggage handling and transfers. So that means baggage handling for one piece of checked luggage. That's when you bring it out of the airport, the bus driver will make sure it's loaded onto the bus properly. And of course, when you go back to the airport, they will make sure it's taken off the bus for you properly. We do advise you, all the airlines now only allow one piece of checked luggage, and for Europe it cannot be more than 50 pounds. I would suggest you do no more than 35. That will give you time and room to actually bring something back with you and put it in your luggage. If it is over 50 pounds, they do charge you, and it's quite expensive. Every airline is different, but it becomes quite expensive. So your price is $3,399 per person, double occupancy. If a single person wants to go, you do have to add $699 to it. What I have always done with the groups I have taken with different chambers, I have always picked a list up and had people sign up. If they were single and they wanted to share, I have had them give me their name, their phone number, their email, and they then become part of a list. And when I have 2 or 3 other folks, I will share it with them, and then it's up to them if they want to share with somebody. Basically, you have to think about it. Do I want to live with someone for 9 days? You don't have to do everything with them, but you would share a room with them. And some folks are fine with that and some aren't, but it saves money. And a lot of single ladies, we often have a lot of single widows and things like that, and they feel comfortable and safe, and they've met someone new, and quite often the friendships stick for many years after that. There are fuel charges of $350 per person. That's included in this cost, so you don't have to worry about it. But there is a $150 tax, and that's a land fee that the airports charge, so that is extra. We have never, in all the years I've dealt with the Aventura world through the chambers, and even now, we have never increased prices. So although they state this, I've never seen them do it. This is an early bird special price, so it's $3,399. It will go up April 28th, so you do have some time to tell friends about it and to also register. And then it does increase by $100 per person. So just so that you know, after April 28th, it will be $100 more. We don't normally substitute hotels and adjust the itineraries, but if there is, for example, a really rainy day and where you were going, it's just not great on a rainy day, then they'll change it, they'll switch a day, but you'll still get to do everything that is stated in the brochure. You will be able to do all of it. So you can also extend your trip to Rome for an additional 2 days. And if you're going to Italy and you've never been there before, then honestly, for 2 more days, I would suggest you do this. It is well worth it. Rome is, of course, the capital of Italy. It is also, as you know, has the Pope, and it has the Vatican, and it has the Sistine Chapel. And this trip covers 2 nights of hotel accommodation in downtown Rome, 2 meals consisting of 2 breakfasts. So you would be responsible for a lunch or a dinner. But again, food is not expensive in Italy. They will take you on a sightseeing program, and it's a city tour of the ancient ruins, and it's well worth seeing. And then they do have an optional tour that goes to the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel if you would like to do it. Your tour director, if it's not the same tour director, it may be the same one. It could also be a new tour director, but whoever it is, they are very familiar. This is their hometown, and they are going to show you the best parts of their hometown. And of course, the motor coaches are deluxe and comfortable, and it includes your baggage and handling transfers at the airport when you are leaving. So the Rome extension is an additional $699 for double occupancy, or $998 for single occupancy. And truly, if you are going to Italy, I would suggest, if you can, stay the extra 2 days and see what Rome is like. So this is the city tour of Rome. And so you're going to go to the ancient ruins, and this is the Temple of Saturn right here. It's absolutely amazing when you think of how old these ruins are and how much is left of them, and they are still continuing to find more. You'll go to the Colosseum. Now, you don't get to go into the Colosseum, but you do get some free time in Rome. And if that was something you wanted to do, then you can talk again to your tour director, and they will help you either by getting tickets for you or telling you how to get those tickets if you wish to go into the Colosseum. You're also going to see the Trevi Fountain, which is famous, and the sculptures are absolutely beautiful. You can throw your coins in there and make a wish. And here again is the Roman Forum with the ancient. And then this is the Pantheon. And again, this is the world's largest reinforced concrete dome, largest in the world. And you can sit and have a sidewalk cafe experience, a glass or a bottle of wine, enjoy a local beer, or enjoy some of the other local non-alcoholic drinks that they have, and have food, and just enjoy Old Town. The optional tour is a Vatican City tour, and so you will have a special tour guide that will take you through the Vatican, through here, this area, explain things. You also will have some free time to be able to explore on your own. And of course, it's the home of the Pope. You will also be at the Vatican at St. Peter's, and again, be able to explore. Here are the Swiss Guards. You will see them. Again, beautiful, incredible architecture that dates back so many years. It's so hard to believe that thousands of people over thousands of years have walked these pathways. Sistine Chapel, again, you'll be able to go into the Sistine Chapel. This in itself is worth it. It's absolutely amazing. And you'll be able to walk down through here and see all of these beautiful paintings. And I'm really amazed at how old they are and how beautiful they are. And the artwork itself is incredible. This is a close-up of it. And then, unfortunately, you have to depart and go back home to the USA. But you'll go home with so many great memories that you'll be able to think back, and your photos, you'll really enjoy this. So here again are some of the things you'll remember. Now, you don't need a visa for US citizens right now. If you are not a US citizen, then obviously you will have to talk to the Italian consulate, whoever is closest in your community. And here's how you sign up. So here's your brochure. And there are two ways. You can sign this paper registration form, fill it out, and simply drop it off or send it to the chamber, to your chamber. And Julie will then forward it on to the operations team, and everything will be taken care of that way. Or you can do it online. Basically, they're identical. So it's simple and easy to fill out. You put your name in as it is in your passport. It must be exactly as your passport. Now, your passport number goes in here. But if you do not have a passport yet, as of last Friday, it was 12 weeks to get a passport. I checked. So if you are wanting to go on this trip and you do not have a passport, you need to immediately fill out a passport application. You can do them online. You can also get them from the post office, but online will tell you where you can get it if you want to do it online. You fill it out exactly as they ask you. And I would suggest, if you don't have a passport and you want to register to make sure you have a seat for this trip, you can put in here in this area right here, you can, or in your notes section, put down that you've applied for a passport, and I would put the date that you applied for that passport, because that gives our air department, our operations team, the opportunity to know, okay, this passport will be coming in probably so many months away, and everything will be fine, okay? So that's what you do. You then put in your mailing address, city, everything like you would anywhere else. Your email address is very, very important. If we have anything to talk to you about, if we need to confirm something with you, if you have asked the question in the notes section and we need to respond, we need the correct email address. So please make sure it's correct. home phone numbers, other numbers, things like that. And then you decide what you'd like to do. If you want to go to Cinque Terre, you check off yes. And here is the cost for the optional trip to Cinque Terre. If you would continue to Rome and you want to do the Vatican Museum and the Sistine Chapel, you check yes, and there's your cost there. You total those up and here's your total. So then you look over here, and if you want to do the optional extension, then it's yes, and you put the price in over here and total it. Then you come down here. So here is your base price. Remember, it was right here, this $3,399. That's for your base price without the optional or the extension. And you can add in, if you wish to do any of the optional trips. If you want to do Rome, you add it in. Now remember, there's that $150 land tax, and you total it right here, okay? After your April date of the 28th, prices do go up $100. So you would not put it in here, you would put it all through here, okay? You should, no matter what, no matter where you get it from, you should buy travel protection insurance. We have a company, it's not our company, but we have insurance plans that are available through Aventura World to this company, and you can purchase them through us if you wish. And there are two different ways of doing it. But what you would do is you take your total here or your total there, whichever one, if you booked it ahead of the April date, end date, and you would see the price here. So you would take whatever your total is here and you would see where it fits in. There is a basic travel policy, and I'm going to show you what it covers in a minute. And that is the first price. There is a cancel for any reason policy, which is more expensive. Now, the difference is cancel for any reason is just that. 48 hours before the trip, if you decided you don't want to go, all you have to do is send us an email and say, I've decided I don't want to go, and you will get your refund, all but the money you have put down for that insurance plan, okay? And you will then, it doesn't matter for what reason. The other, you have to either be medically ill or you have to have a death in your family to be able to do it. So I'm going to go over it in a minute. So you would calculate everything. Your deposit is $800. You would calculate everything, and you can pay with credit card or with a check. If you do a check, you put the check in here and you attach the check to this paper registration form. And you would sign at the bottom, read everything carefully through about the insurance and everything, and sign at the bottom and date it. And then you would send this, drop it off at the Lima Allen County Chamber of Commerce. And Julie will forward it to our operations department by mail. I usually take a photocopy of it, Julie also, and send it by email to them. And then I put it in the mail. So I have a copy, and make sure everybody else has a copy of their own registration and check. If you want to do it by credit card, you can. You simply fill this out, give it to Julie. She will take a copy of it, and she will email the copy to the operations division, and they will then send to your email address a link with a very safe link for you to make your payment by credit card. Okay, so it's done two different ways. If you want to pay by credit card, no problem. Or you can pay by check or bank check or whatever. But either check, include this. If you want it the other way, you simply make sure this is emailed in, and then they'll send you a link to your email to pay with the credit card. It's very simple. When you're filling out your form, it's on here, right here, your code, your booking code. But when you go online, you're going to have that booking code number. And it's up here up top as well, the booking code. That's to make sure you're going on the right trip. So this is your basic travel insurance, okay? This is what it includes. It includes pre-trip cancellation due to sickness or death of you or the immediate family. Your medical on your trip, should you need something. Sometimes somebody trips or sprains an ankle on the cobblestone streets, something like that. Trip interruption, travel delay, missed connections, emergency medical evacuations, lost baggage and personal effects. This is important. We have had a number of people have had their baggage lost and they haven't received it in 2 or 3 days. Sometimes it's been 4 days or sometimes not at all. You want to be able to buy clothes when you're on your trip and personal effects. So this insurance covers this. And then baggage delay also. So that's what your basic travel insurance covers. The cancel for any reason is exactly the same. You have to pay it with your policy within 24 hours of your actual reservation. So you have to pay within 24 hours, but it's cancel for any reason, and 48 hours notice is the minimum amount of time you can give. So it gives you more flexibility. It covers this exactly the same, but it's giving you that option if 48 hours before the trip you decide you don't want to go or something happens and you can't go, you get the majority of your money back. Okay, this is an email that gives you more information. We also have sent it to the chamber, folks, and I have it. I can resend it as well. That will help you buy insurance. We cannot, and nor can the chamber, sell you the insurance. We are not licensed. You have to be licensed to sell insurance, but we have all the information to help you get the right insurance for yourself. And then it also tells you here the coverage for your policy. So when you buy the FAR cancel for any reason plan, you have coverage of the standard policy and allows you to cancel for any reason whatsoever. And then you receive a reimbursement up to 65% of your penalty amount. And then if you cancel for any reason insurance, Aventura World also will give you another 35% of your amount in credits for a future travel. Okay. So again, down here is your booking code. If you do it online, here it is again, up here, your booking code. And we'll go to that, your cancel or your calculate your deposit is your 800 plus whatever optional trip plus whatever extension, all goes in, okay? And then of course, read carefully all of this to make sure you're comfortable with everything. This is what it looks like online. So if you have never traveled with Aventura World, you're a new user and you're going to put your first name and your last name and your email. Make sure it's the same one that you have all the time that you look for things on, and a password. Create a password. If you've used us before in travel, then you will use this side. So new users, all this side. Then you will find that you will get an email back from them, and you'll need to watch for it. It comes from Aventura World, and because there has not been any you haven't talked to each other back and forth yet with an email, it may go to your junk mail. So you need to watch for, usually it says registration or new registration, aventuraworld.com. As long as it's got Aventura World in it, it might say info Aventura World, you want to open that. So you want to watch for that. And so again, they'll ask you to reconfirm your name, your email, your password, and confirm it again. And then you will find that they then will send you back another email that says you're ready to register. They simply verify. It's really important that we get the right emails. And then they'll say, welcome to the world of adventure. Your account is now X. Okay. So then what they'll do is go through, you just click on, and they'll ask you for your booking code. So remember, it's on that brochure, the paper brochure, and you should also have it with an email if you got an email from Julie. So that's the one you want to use, and you'll put it in there, and then you'll just follow the steps, and it'll give you that information. So you'll go my account profile, and they'll ask you your name and everything else, just exactly the same as it is on that paper registration. A lot of times I tell people use the paper registration as a guide for you, and it'll take you all the way through it. It's really simple. So again, as I said, it goes through steps. We use just one brochure to show you. So this is Greece. You're not going to Greece, but it's the very same all the way through for everything. So step 1, step 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through. The insurance, there's more information that we will make sure you have so that you can choose wisely. But even if you choose not to do it through Aventura World, the insurance, please make sure you purchase travel protection insurance. You can do it also through your local insurance agent that you maybe have your home insured with or your car insured with. Just ask them to guide you to the best one, but make sure you do not travel without travel insurance protection. And again, this is more of what it looks like. This would be online if you're selecting your insurance plan here. It will, again, take you through it step by step. It shows you the amounts, covers everything for you step by step, tells you what to do, add on, how to add things on if you need to. There is a section, if you're doing it online, and if most people do, is they'll ask you the primary destination, and you're going to Tuscany, Italy. That's all. You don't need to worry about anything else. It asks you the primary airline. You don't know that. We don't know that yet. So you put undecided, okay? And it will give you that when you click on that arrow. And then step 4, you make payment of your policy. So again, it is separate, and we want you to join us and enjoy this wonderful trip. So who has questions?
Teresa, that was a lot of content and really great stuff. I enjoyed following along in the itinerary and learning every step of the way on that. So really exciting. And Rome and the Sistine Chapel was just gorgeous.
So, I know it's well, there's nothing like it in the world. And I always look at when you go to another country, there's nothing like that country in the world. No matter where you go, there might be something close to it or a little bit similar, but there really isn't anything like Italy. Italy is Italy. And so if you go, take in all you can, because you're going to enjoy it, and you have such wonderful photos and memories after it as well.
Right. So if anybody on the call today has questions, please place those in the chat function or the Q&A, either one. We'll keep those open. I wanted to mention too, Teresa, I like the idea of staying in the hotel long term. That's really nice, because then you don't have to pack up and be on the move every 2 days or so.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so that's a really nice feature, and I didn't realize that as I was looking through until you mentioned it.
Yeah, we try really hard to make sure that you're going to be in that hotel, and that it's a really good hotel too. They're beautiful hotels. They take really good care of you. The breakfasts are always delicious. You have lots of choices. They have chefs who will make an omelet for you if you want. They're used to Americans, and we like pancakes and sausages and all those different things, and omelets or scrambled eggs. They'll do those for you. We always make sure that our hotels give a really good start to the day with really good breakfast, but they also have the European foods too. So you can eat the olives, you can try the different local fruit drinks and things like that. So you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I loved your pictures of the markets. It's lunchtime, so that was making me very hungry, and just the ambiance and how quaint the outdoor seating is, and it was just lovely. It's just so pretty. Yeah. One thing I loved was the optional city, was it
Cinque Terre?
Yeah, Cinque Terre. The water is gorgeous and clear. It reminded me of some of the places in some of the more remote places in California, the coasts, just gorgeous, the cliffs.
You can see the bottoms. You can just look right down. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Really, really gorgeous. And those costs are all on that brochure and on your website, right? So if they want to add those extra those, okay, good. And I was looking to the climate for that time of year is anywhere between, I think I saw 50 to 70 degrees.
Right, you'll find the evenings get cooler, so it's a casual trip. All the restaurants, you don't have to be all dressed up to get into a really nice restaurant. I always tell people take a pair of dress slacks for the men and a nice shirt, and the ladies the same thing, a nice blouse and a pair of dress slacks or a dress if you want. But you don't have to be all dressed up. But you do need a sweater or a jacket sometimes for the evenings. And if you have a rainy day, which you don't usually at that time of year, but if you do have a rainy day, then at least you have a little bit of protection that you might want. But it's always in the 60s and 70. It goes into the low 70s, so you can't complain about the weather. It's perfect for traveling. It's perfect for walking. This trip is out of a 5 is a 3. So there is, and as you can see on this last part of the photos, there are lots of steps, there are lots of cobbled stones, streets and things like that. So people want to wear good walking shoes, and we do walk a lot. So I always tell my groups, start walking now. You've got 6 or 8 months to get it under control, and start walking now. Start enjoying your walks now for what you're going to do in Italy. So
right, and we've got so many places in Allen County and Lima to enjoy walking outside or inside. We've even got the Y and other places.
Right.
There's plenty of places. This is a really good time of year also to go over there and buy goods for Christmas gifts. So I mean, when you're going in October and you've got access to all of these leather things and all these beautiful things you'll see in Italy, those are great things to bring home.
Oh, I know. Leather gloves. Oh my gosh, beautiful leather gloves for the men if they need them for winter, things like that. Beautiful purses of every style you can imagine. Sandals, pottery, foods. I mean, it really is a beautiful shopping experience, and lots of boutiques. If you're looking for something really special out of a boutique, you'll find it there too. So
yes, absolutely. So I haven't gotten any questions from the folks who are on the call today, but I want to remind everybody on the call that I'll follow this up with an email and electronic version of the brochure too. So in case you folks don't have a copy, so that'll have my contact information in it, and it will then tell you how to book online, as well as it'll have that link in it, the online portal, as well as then the paper copy that you could print off and bring. So if there are other questions from folks on the call, please pop those into the Q&A or in the chat. So let us know. And Teresa, I think if we don't get any of those in a few minutes, we'll wrap it up and say goodbye for now.
Right.
And I think you'll be back right in the month of May in about 1 month to hold another info session.
We can do that. Yes.
Yeah.
And then 45 days prior to the actual departure date, we will then have a pre-trip orientation, and I will go through everything with you as far as what you need. You'll have your e-tickets, then you'll have everything, and we'll make sure everybody's names are spelled correctly and everybody's coming from the right and going home the right way, and we'll take care of everything going through that. It takes about an hour to go through all of that as well, but we want to make sure that everybody has a wonderful time and feels comfortable and safe. Group travel is so safe. It's really a good way to travel. And honestly, if you were to take this trip through a travel agency, you would probably spend another $2,000 to $3,000 per person, and you would have to wait in line to get in places, whereas we don't wait in line. We have our tickets. It's been purchased ahead of time. They already know we're coming a month ahead of it, and they've got our spot saved, and we just go simply in. And I know I felt very sorry for some folks sometimes, because I'd see long lineups of at least a couple hour wait, and we just walked by them because we were part of the group tour. So there's benefits to this. It's very good.
That's that VIP treatment. That's what we all want, Teresa. We don't want to wait in line, right?
No, we don't.
So it sounds wonderful. The people that I've talked to take one look at the brochure and they say, what a fantastic price. Yes. That's one of the first comments that I hear them say. And so with that airfare right out of Dayton, which is so convenient, it really, really is a great value for such a gorgeous, beautiful trip.
Now, remember too, though, if they have family or friends that live somewhere else,
Yeah.
all they do when they fill out their registration is say in the notes section, we live in, could be, let's say, somewhere in Utah or, Salt Lake City, say. If they're in Salt Lake City, they simply need to say, we would like to travel from Salt Lake City and return back to Salt Lake City, and put it in the notes. Our folks in the operations team will then get back to them with the additional cost. Usually it's about an additional $150, which really, when you think about it, is very inexpensive. So they don't have to get to Dayton, Ohio to take this trip. They can leave from any major international airport or any major airport that's going to connect with JFK. So it could be Dallas, Texas. It could be, somewhere in Virginia. It could be anywhere else. And I know with my groups, I always have people all across the country that come with us. And so we just adjust the price for them. And it's not a lot. It's always within that $150 difference. And it means you can leave in the comfort of your area and you get home in the comfort of your area. So.
Yeah. Very nice. Good. Well, folks, I did leave my contact information in the chat. So take a look at that really quickly before we disconnect and say goodbye. And Teresa, any final words for everyone?
I would say don't wait till the end date. Sign up now. We have lots of groups that go on this trip. You want to make sure that you have your group going and that everybody knows they're going. I would say tell your friends, tell your family. You can't beat this price, and it's a wonderful time to be traveling. The weather will be great. Everything will just be wonderful.
Yeah, good. Good. Okay. Thank you, Teresa, for being here. Thank you to our attendees for joining us today. We'll do this again in May, and we'll work on a date, Teresa, and make sure everyone knows about it. And then, and thank you all. If you have questions and want to talk about anything, call the chamber, 222-6045. Ask for me. My name is Julie, and we'll help you get registered for the trip. So thanks again, Teresa, and thanks again to everybody today for joining.
And if there's any questions that you don't have answers for, let me know right away. We'll take care of it. Okay?
Sounds good. All right. Thanks so much.
Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.